Heard about this Rings of Power show. I kind of was a little nervous, still am. See, I love Tolkien's works. I've read the books, I've seen the movies, and I absolutely adore the Middle Earth games, Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Both fantastic. If anything, those games should have been adapted on TV instead of whatever Amazon's trying to do with no pre-established history to take from. Same problem with Disney Wars and Kenobi. They got a little blueprint and they're just doing whatever, really. With Amazon Lord of the Rings. Thing is that one of the problems I have is Galadriel being in the show at all. Galadriel and Elrond are elves, and everybody else in the show that's not an elf is not going to be alive by the time the show ends, whatever era that is. Apparently there's 5 seasons planned out. I don't know how well you can plan out 5 seasons, but at least they've got to put some thought into it. At the same time, I don't think this show needs to exist. See, I don't know if this comes from the fact that I'm a gamer, but I've been thinking about it. I'm like, well, first mistake they did, I think, was not bringing Peter Jackson on, at least as a producer or consultant, because the stuff that worked with Lord of the Rings should easily translate to TV, but if they've got incompetent writers and all these Twitter chumps talking about how they want to make Sauron good or some crap, whatever these fake fans are saying, I just don't think this show is a good idea. I'm looking forward to that Gollum game coming out. I think it's supposed to be this year or next year, I don't know. I'm looking forward to playing that. I play Shadow of War and Mordor all the time. Stream it on my channel, check it out, get a chance. Like, I really want more of those. I don't think this TV show needs to exist. Is it meant to fail? I don't know. Really don't know. If they piss off enough fans, yeah, it's gonna fail. Same with any show, really. It just seems like greed is taking over more than anything with this particular show. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it doesn't need to exist. I think there should have been more effort put into making more Middle Earth games. There's a new Middle Earth game coming for PC, but not the consoles, which is disappointing for me because, again, I love the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games, and I think it's probably in the best interest to just keep making those, or maybe make some comics set in that universe. But a TV show, we got young Gladder, young Elrond, like, should just meet the original characters because it's never gonna line up. They don't look anything like the original cast members. They rise up to be different characters, and that's the problem. There's always a problem with prequels. Stuff never lines up. Doesn't matter how good the writing or how bad the writing is, it's never gonna line up. It's gonna be a problem along with 5 seasons. Really? Why don't you wait for the first one to come out first? See if people respond to it. I don't know if I'm gonna bother. I'm at the point really where I would rather just play the games and pretend the show doesn't exist. To me, it doesn't, but I like hearing other people's opinions on it. So maybe I'll just do that like I usually do. Sit back and just watch the fireworks because Last I checked, Tolkien only wrote a couple books before he passed, and his son Chris, I think he finished the Silmarillion, but I think Chris passed away. And that's another problem. As soon as his descendants are gone, someone's going to take over the reins for Lord of the Rings, and heaven help us all if they try to reboot the trilogy in the modern day. That's going to be a dumpster fire. This show is going to be a dumpster fire. Everything I keep hearing about the show, the comments from the writers and producers, and I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, even some of the actors from the movies have come forward and made comments. Sean Astin seems to be the only one that seems to be in support of the show. It's fine. It's his opinion. But, what source material are they using for this show? Because I've read the books, and there's really nothing to tell in the Second Age, aside from maybe Celebrimbor's story, which is done masterfully well in the Middle Earth games. But I don't know. I saw pictures of Celebrimbor, and he's way too old. Oh, they're supposed to be immortal, fair, and wise. This guy looks like he's about to keel over any minute. No offense to the actor, but could have cast way better than that. Come on now. Like, elves don't age. This guy, and some part of me would love to meet some of these casting directors and maybe send them back to school. Because, I don't know. I was more excited for that teaser trailer before it even dropped. And then after I saw it a couple times, my anticipation for the show just kind of went downward instead of increasing, you know. I just don't think there's anything to be excited about. You're literally going to have to make stuff up for the show to go to 5 seasons. There's nothing else to take. The ring is destroyed. The story's done. You're going to have another war, another battle on the field, and all that stuff, more orcs, like we have said a zillion times. And Middle Earth is just so much more than just a bunch of battles. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge world. You could have so many smaller stories going on at the same time, just like Star Wars. You get this galaxy, and they always tell these in-between stories that are so predictable. And it's nothing, still not new. Middle Earth is massive. Massive. Have you seen some of the maps? Even in the movies, you see how big Middle Earth really is. And honestly, in the trilogy, they only covered a small fraction of Middle Earth. The Middle Earth games, go so much more in depth than Mordor. That's why I think characters like Talion should be adapted to TV, if anything. Such a brilliant character. Such a heartbreaking story with what happened to his family. Come on. But, why would they do that? Why would they adapt an original character on TV? I don't know. I don't think the show is a good idea. I think ultimately the show is going to bite Amazon in the ass. If people don't respond, 5 seasons being planned out won't make any lick of difference. That's the bottom line. Don't have compelling characters, don't have good writing. You have shitty direction like with the Kenobi series. It's gonna fail. It's gonna fall flat on its face. Is it meant to fail? Yeah. As of now, I would say yeah. Or come at you, attack you for having a different opinion. Movies 7, 8, and 9, terrible. With this show, I don't know. I think they have some really good characters